So this is a Swift Challenger 645. Just going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. So the front of the van, you've got your jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake, which we'll demonstrate to you in person here on site. In the front locker, you have your gas bottle with your gas regulator on the bulkhead. To turn on the gas supply in the front locker, you turn the valve on top, anti-clockwise to turn the gas supply on, and clockwise to turn the gas supply off. So when you're travelling, you do need to make sure that is in the off position. If you did have an accident, at least then the emergency services can remove the bottle without having to turn the supply off first. Coming down the side of the caravan, you've got your Aldi heating and hot water flue. Very simply there to do the same job as the flue on the side of your house. Below that you have your wind down legs to stabilise the caravan. There's one of these on either side of the front of the van and two on the back of the caravan. You've then got your water pump connection, which will be connected during your handover. There's a blue trigger on the bottom of the pump. You'll pull that trigger up and push it into the side of the van and release the trigger. You'll then put the pickup pipe into the aqua roll itself, and it needs to be fully submerged in water prior to ever turning the water pump on. Battery and mains lead, so you've got your 110 amp leisure battery there. This one is just a temporary battery, we're just waiting on yours to arrive. And then you've got your mains power lead coming into the side of the caravan from the power on site. I'll take you through the motor mover. So that's your motor mover power switch key there. We'll take you through that when you're here on site and demonstrate it to you. Motor mover and wheel nuts. We'll torque the wheel nuts prior to you leaving site, and like I said, we'll take you through that motor mover as well and demonstrate how that works. Coming to the back of the caravan, you've got your toilet flush tank. You'll put 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to use. Then in the bottom you have your toilet waste cassette. You'll open this door up, and behind here will be your toilet waste cassette. You'll pull up the orange handle and pull the cassette towards you to release it from the side of the caravan. On the top of the cassette you'll see a neck that turns out 90 degrees so you can tip the waste away. The orange cap is a measure for your pink and your blue fluid. And in this cassette prior to use you'll need to put 1 litre of water and a cap full of the blue fluid so it breaks down any waste that goes into that cassette. On the back of the cassette there's an orange pressure relief button, or on top rear of the cassette, as you look at it from here, there will be a orange pressure relief button, so when you're tipping the waste away you can press that in so it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. Essentially it allows the air out of the cassette so it doesn't come back at you when you're tipping it away. Coming around to the door side of the caravan, you've got your gas barbecue point just there. You've got your storage locker for the side of the caravan. You've got your telly point, mains power out to your awning, and then you've got a second storage locker at the back of the van there. Coming on to the inside of the caravan now. First thing we're going to do is shut all the drain down valves. So that's the pump I was telling you about on the outside of the van. So that's the blue trigger you pull back to push it into place and lock it in. And this is the part that you need down inside your aqua roll. And like I said, it needs to be fully submerged prior to turning on the water system. So underneath the seat on the front right hand side of the caravan, you will find the yellow valve. The yellow valve is actually the drain down valve for the water system on board the caravan. So when you want to fill the water system up, you actually need to push the valve forward or towards us, doesn't matter which way, and make sure the valve is flat with the floor. This will then seal up the water system because that's your drain down valve, and obviously if that valve's open and pointing towards the bottom of the seat, all the water will drain out of the system. So flat with the floor as it is now to fill the system up. While I'm underneath this side of the seat, I'm just going to show you the mains power unit. You have your 230 volt switch to turn on and off the mains power, which is the mains isolator switch for the caravan. Underneath this panel here, you have your 12 volt fuses for the 12 volt systems on board the caravan. Underneath this panel here, you have your 230 volt trip switches for the 230 mains power. Then above it, you have your reverse polarity. You don't need to do anything with this, but if it needs a reverse polarity for any reason, it will do that for you. The charger is always turned on. You can turn it off, but it will actually isolate all the power on board the caravan as well, because you'll have no main power coming around the van. And then you've got your heating and hot water power switch, which again you'll need to have on at all times for the heating and hot water to operate. On the door that opens just below it, you'll see that you've got a list of the 230 volt trip switches and then 12 volt fuses on the left hand side. So now we've got the yellow valve shut, and we've got that all the switches turned on underneath the seat. We can come to the taps on board the caravan. and you're going to turn all the taps on the hot side of the water system, all the way open, with the aqua roll connected on the outside. And then you're going to come to your control panel just above the door here. You're going to turn the power on this button on the bottom right hand side. Just quickly run through the what this does. You've got your awning light, your lights are above the cabinets on either side at the front. Let me just turn the radio off. And what you'll notice is these lights above the cabinets on both sides are actually dimming lights. So you can hit this arrow here when it says 50 or dimming level at the bottom here. And you can actually control the brightness of those lights. I believe they call them mood setting lights. You've then got your roof lights just here on the next button down. And then you've got your water pump switch. So with the aqua roll connected on the outside and the mains and the aqua roll connected and the yellow valve shut, hit the water pump switch. And then when the water system starts filling, it will start drawing water through the caravan. And once the water system is completely full, you'll have water running out of every tap on board the caravan continuously. Once you have water running out of every tap continuously, you can shut all of the taps back off, and that is your water system full. At that point, you can start thinking about heating the water on board the caravan. Above the door, on the left-hand side, as you come into the caravan, you've got your power switch for your heating and hot water system. Turn the power switch on, then hit the menu button. And it will take you to the options. So here it's letting me know that I've got the heating pump running, I've got mains power coming to the caravan, and the current room temperature on the caravan. Hit the menu button. At the top here, you've got your option for your temperature for the van. So you've got minus or plus to set the room temperature. 30 being the highest temperature. Below that, you have the hot water. So you have hot water on and hot water boost when this bar is completely full. Below that, you've got the amount of power coming to the caravan from the caravan site you're on. So you've got electric off, 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatt, or 3 kilowatt, depending on what caravan site you're on. Bottom left-hand side, you have the option to run gas. To ignite the heating and hot water on gas, and it is only relevant to the heating and hot water, this control. It will come up with gas fail if it fails to ignite at the bottom of the screen. If it stays ignited, it will stay green on this symbol. Turn the heating and hot water control panel off, hit the power button, and it will turn itself back off. Microwave, hob, grill and oven all work very much like your household appliances, no difference at all there. The next thing we're going to do is show you how the fridge works. So we've got the power button, open the fridge door up, and you've got your power button on the left hand side here, which will turn the fridge on. At the moment, as you can see, we're running on mains power, and if you're on mains or gas, you can control the temperature of the fridge on this button on the right hand side. The more amount of bars you have lit up, the colder the fridge will be. Gas operation. If you've got the gas bottle turned on and you've bled the system, and to bleed the system, what we'd advise you do is ignite the hob, because it tends to be the last point on the gas system. The fridge will ignite on gas, and the blue light here will be your pilot light. If it fails to ignite on gas, the fridge will start bleeping, and it'll also start flashing this red warning triangle on the right hand side, which is also the reset for the igniter light once it's timed itself out and failed to ignite. So if you want to restart it, press and hold, and it'll allow the igniter to restart. Left hand side here, you have the right hand option here is for the 12 volt supply from the car you're towing with, and essentially it turns the fridge into a cool box when you are connected to your car. It does not turn it into a fridge. Like I said, it is just a cool box mode. So when you turn down the road, hit the 12 volt mode, and it will start operating as a cool box. And that will only work if you have the correct connection on the back of your car. What you'll notice is at the moment we're not connected to a car, so it is actually flashing at me to tell me it's failed to come on. To turn the fridge off, press and hold the power button, and it will isolate the power to the fridge. In the cabinet above, you've got your aerial for the caravan. You loosen off this fitting just here, which is very tight, obviously, because it's when you're traveling down the road, but you'll loosen this fitting off, push the aerial up into position, then you'll turn it to get the right connection, get the right signal. This control that you can just see that I'm just pointing at just here, always make sure that's on the maximum, so it just turns around with your finger, and you'll be able to turn up the booster box essentially, because that's a booster as well. Coming into the rear of the caravan now, and the last thing we're going to go through, taps, etc. work like household taps, no difference at all there. Light switch, which a lot of people miss in a Swift, is just down by the side of the sink area there. Toilet, very simple to use. You have an electric flush, just here on top. You have a red indicator light that will illuminate red when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. The toilet seat itself actually turns for your convenience, as you can see. However, when you're removing the toilet waste cassette from the side of the caravan, you need to make sure this toilet seat is straight on, as it will lock the cassette in place. Then below the toilet, you have the grey waste handle. You push it into the open position and it'll allow the waste into the toilet waste cassette. When you're not using the toilet, I advise you put it back in the central position. That will allow you to remove the cassette and it will stop any smells coming back up inside the caravan. So that's the Swift Challenger 645. We look forward to seeing you when you collect the caravan this week. The video will remain on YouTube. And if you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Thanks again. Bye-bye.